Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to FTB Interactions. So, I meant to have this video out for Monday, it didn't quite work out that way. This past weekend we had the first Pixel Guard tournament, so I spent a big chunk of last week getting ready for that, because I was a little bit behind getting started on that, getting started on my team and stuff, so I did spend a big chunk of last week doing that. But the tournament has come and gone, and then Sunday, which would be yesterday, I was going to record, and I got on here, and I was moving stuff around, and I was getting ready, kind of doing my prep work, but I was so exhausted because I actually spent a big chunk of Sunday harvesting vegetables. Actually, not out of my garden yesterday, it was actually out of my mom's garden, but I spent a lot of hours harvesting, and then I had to go over to my dad's, and I harvested blueberries over there, and yeah, that's most of what I did yesterday. So by the end of the day, I was pretty tired, and I didn't actually get to recording. So I'm recording this on Monday. But you can see I actually did get all the dynamic tanks removed. I did do that, and I did a little bit of stuff but during the week, but I didn't have as much time as I would have hoped on here, mainly because I was behind getting started on prep for the tournament. So both for my team and for some other stuff as well, tournament related. So anyways, what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be actually starting into some automation, and I did some thinking. We're actually going to start up automation because I don't want to have to make a lot of machines. That's the main point we're rushing into automation. I don't want to have to make a lot of machines before I get things automated. And you can see I've moved over here well, I'll talk about that here in a second. But what we need to do here soon is we need to start moving into a new power system. And of course, this is actually the old tank room, if you didn't know. It's getting set up for AE2 automation. And the resin tank is right down there on the floor right now. We're going to eventually plug fluid storage up to that and yada yada. We'll get into that later. But we're going to have to start moving into a new power system. Right now we're still using Steam. We're going to use Steam for, I don't know, maybe 2 episodes or something. Then we're going to start moving into some new power, because Steam just is no longer reasonable. I actually generate a lot of Steam, and I could keep using it for a little while, and I could even go so far as to make additional boilers and keep using it, or upgrade this boiler, add some more coke ovens and so on. But I actually ended up setting up another fluid transfer node. This one basically just feeds, because I was having issues with power when I was running other things in addition to this. Now this is actually starting to back up now. You can see polyethylene's backing up, and now oxygen is starting to back up. So, and I do need to take a second and talk about this. Overclocking, allow and disable overclocking. Basically what that means is if you have, say, an MV machine that's running an LV recipe, it can run it faster, consume more power and run it faster. That's overclocking. So if you don't want your machines to do that, if you want them to just use the minimum amount of power, then you would say disable overclocking, and it would keep it from basically overclocking that machine for an LV recipe ran through an MV machine. So that's what that is. We'll probably use that at some point, but anyways, I did spend a little bit of time figuring out what we're going to do for power exactly. I had a rough idea. I've talked about it in the past, that we were going to be moving into diesel generators. And what we're actually going to go with, I think, is going to be biodiesel. This right here. And the method that we're going to be using to make it. I'm actually on the fence between going with seed oil or fish oil. Both of them have their positives and negatives. Fish oil, it could be a little bit faster because we could gather fish using the botanical fishery, but then you need mana input to do that, which isn't really a big deal, but it's got a few other steps. Seed oil, you don't get as much per process, but we would actually use probably the fluid transposer method and use Pam's Harvest Craft, because you can get a lot of seeds that way, which actually kind of balances it out with fish. So chances are we're going to go with the seed oil method, but I'm going to play around with it before I say for sure on that. And then what we'll do is we'll go with fish oil or seed oil. The tiny pile of sodium hydroxide, we've already got that being produced over there from our acid setup. And then we would go with methanol, which is actually very easy to make. We would actually probably go with the chemical reactor method, using carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, maybe. Or we could go with, say, the wood vinegar method, which makes 300. I just kind of like the method here because it only takes 16 seconds and it produces 1,000 methanol for that. And all of this stuff is very cheap and easily automated. Stuff that we pretty much have on hand. I would probably just set up another oxygen hydrogen system, and then the carbon we can easily get from the charcoal that's being produced as a byproduct from the pyrolysis oven. Which actually, let me go ahead and set this to always active, because I did break that tank, so we're no longer, I broke it and it still had like 2 million millibuckets left, but wood gas isn't really, it's nothing to us. But yeah, so anyways, over here, what I've done is I've cleared out all the tanks, and this is going to be kind of our first automation room, and I actually decided this is going to be our AE2 hub room. Well, crafting room sort of thing. Like, we're going to have a lot of monitor terminal access. We're not going to have our storage or auto crafting or nothing in this long term. Short term, we probably will. I'll go ahead and tell you, because I don't want to make cables, to run up to the upstairs where we're actually going to have stuff. So we will have a little bit of temp setup in here, but easily moved and redone. So over here, basically this here, we've got 3 steam turbines. There's still 1 plugged up over there, or over, no, there's still two plugged up over here. But I've got 2 or 3 plugged up here. This is just basic level stuff, and so this will be stuff that we run on the LV line. And you can see I've actually got this right here is glass. I went ahead and filled it up with liquid glass because we've been using a lot of that. This I moved over a bunch of hydrochloric acid because we've been using that. These other ones are empty at the moment. Then we have a bending machine, macerator, alloy smelter, and wire mill. Some of our key machines that are not going to be something that we fully automate with, because a lot of this stuff we're just going to have dedicated lines that run a lot of those liquids and things like that. So we may not have those machines necessarily in this section, you know what I mean? But we might. We'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. But this is some of the key things that we're going to need. And then over here we have an advanced assembling machine, an advanced cutting machine, advanced macerator, advanced alloy smelter, and advanced precision laser engraver. And right now I have 2 advanced steam turbines, and I still have 1 set up there so we can run these machines if need be. So, but basically just getting us ready for automation. Power on this is ran through the top, and I'm using 8x10 cables up there, because eventually there's going to be 8 steam turbines, basically 1 for each machine. Or, well, I'm sorry, it's not going to be steam turbines, it's going to be diesel turbines later on, or diesel generators. But right now it's our steam turbines. I'll probably never make more steam turbines, advanced or otherwise, but because this is just temporary, whenever we do make the 8, it'll be the diesel generators, the basic diesel generators and the advanced diesel generators. So we'll be running off of diesel. And by the way, I want to show you this biodiesel. Super, super efficient, because we can get 256 EU across 32 EU per tick on 1 millibucket of biodiesel. So, and it's just 0.4 seconds. It's actually one of the better ones, because a single craft of biodiesel, because it makes 6,000, it's like 1.5 million EU. So it's gonna be plenty, if I recall. It's a lot of EU basically. I want to say it's 1.5 million or something. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do long term. And then down here I've got 8 times copper cables ran through there, which is moving the MV power. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to start into some basic automation, basically getting us some things automated. Originally I was going to automate the stuff that we needed to advance with AE2, but then I was like, well, I should probably make the stuff that we're going to need, or start automating things that we're going to need to actually make our power system. And then once we get our power system in place, because I think that's going to be the biggest concern, because right now I can't really have a lot of things running at the same time, because my steam output's just not there to run a lot of machines, because we've already seen it struggle once we hit MV stuff. So moving into that new power system is going to be important, but I want to get some automation in place before we do that. Now, one thing I did derp on, when I was talking about the stellar alloy, I was like, oh, I probably won't need a whole lot of that. Yeah, I'm going to need a lot of it, because our crafting units, I don't know why I didn't think about this. I guess I was thinking that We needed that to make the crafting monitors, was where the stellar alloy came up, but it's the crafting units. And of course we need crafting units to make crafting co-processing units and to make our crafting storages. So we pretty much have to make a lot of crafting units as time goes on, so we're going to need a lot of stellar alloy. But that's okay, because we've actually got 11 ingots and then we have 1 dust, so it actually works out so that we can make 3 crafting units. So we're going to do that. Let me pop over here and get this smelted up real quick. We'll just drop it into there. It's actually kind of funny there not being a big tank there. Oh, by the way, what I've got over here, let me grab that. Oh, that's a different stellar, but it's still the same stellar alloy, more or less. What I've got here is that basic quantum tank that we got from the dungeon. I set it up here. So we have 64 million steam stored in that quantum tank, and that replaces that big dynamic tank, and I'm pretty sure has more storage. So these quantum tanks are pretty powerful. So, but we can't craft a lot of those because they do take the osmium. What we're going to do for starters is let's go ahead and getting used to this new machine layout. But the nice thing is I won't have to get really used to it because this stuff's all going to be automated, and I can just click buttons and craft things and add recipes and stuff. And with it being AE2, we can actually put the recipes in without having to go to them, which will be great. Over here, I've got 27 illuminated panels crafted up, and I've actually got a few. I think I've got like 2, because of course these craft, or I've got 4. Of course these craft 3 at a time, so we're going to be using a lot of these. And of course I've got, this is all my AE2 stuff that I've got accumulated. I might have some other pieces here and there, straggler type stuff. Then I've got some other things like these aren't really AE2, but and neither are buckets, but this is just kind of stuff that I'm using at the moment. So what we're going to do, the very first thing, and I will say the power going into our ME controller is going to be a temporary power system because it's eventually going to be diesel. It's actually eventually going to be spectre coils before too long. And we'll have a central area that generates all of our RF, and then it's sent through spectre coils, and then probably eventually later on through like flux networks, which I'm actually not sure if, I don't think flux networks can send EU. I don't believe so, but we'll cross that bridge later, because Flux Networks is a bit later into the pack. So, but what we're going to do is let's pop over to here. I haven't really been using this a ton, so I'm going to pull this CEU up, and let me grab this basic steam turbine for now. We're going to go ahead and set up our ME controller, because it's kind of important that we go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is, I guess, how do I want to do this? Well, I'm going to set it right there. No, I'm sorry, not the steam turbine. I'm going to set the CEU right there. Just kind of temporary thing. And we're going to go ahead and set up our ME controller there. Okay, this stuff's going to get moved around. Of course, eventually we're going to have a bunch of ME controllers, and we're going to make a big multi-block with it. But for right now, that will be fine. And I'll just put that back because I don't need it at the moment. And then let's go ahead and make our terminal. We'll make a crafting terminal to start with. We're going to have to make ME terminals. Just going to take our integrated processors. Good electronic circuits. Oh, we're going to need Pally, some Restonia, aluminum screws. Okay, so this is a little bit of a rabbit hole that we're going to have to go down, but it's not too bad. We already have a phytogenic insulator. We're going to have to combine, eventually we'll do this method, which really we could start moving into that, but and we're also going to need a pattern terminal, which takes, yeah, we're going to have to make 2 crafting terminals. Okay, but this isn't too bad. Okay, so I'm just going to get, I'm going to get 18 gallium dust, and I'm going to get 18 lapis dust. And we'll go ahead and get this stuff running, and I've got plenty of this stuff, so I've got a lot of lapis dust. And I've actually got some other things prepped up that we're going to need today. I've got to figure out where that's antimony. Okay, and I just need tiny piles, so that's easy enough. Gallium dust we don't have a whole lot of, but we've got enough of it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there, and actually I should maybe... Let me just pull this up. This takes 10,000 millibuckets of water. I guess I should probably maybe just move this into an area that works a little bit better for this. So let me just pull that up. How do I want to do this? I'm just going to set that right there for right now, and we'll put the photogenic insulator there. And we'll go ahead and get this running. And this is going to take a little while, and then I'll have to do the same thing for the Restonia. We'll take a look at the Restonia. I think it's probably going to be redstone and gallium dust, if I had to guess. And let me go grab my wrench real quick. My crescent hammer, I mean. And let's go ahead and right-click that, so it should be... That should be auto-outputting now. Yeah, there we go. It just dumped a whole bunch of water into there. And, okay, so that's running again. I've got it going into this tank, because then it can kind of back up in this tank and then feed that for right now. Till we move this, till we get our RF system set up, which it'll be a little while. I'm not too concerned about that. But anyways, that's making our blue crystal shards. And then we're also going to have to get the Restonia crystal shards, which are going to be, yes, gallium and redstone. Let's get ourselves 18 redstone. It's going to take a second for that stuff to craft up. I really have to get some more gallium going, but that's fine. Okay, and actually in here, right here, I've got a full stack of quartz glass made up, which we'll need that. And then this is done. Let's go ahead and grab that. And what I want to make is I want to go ahead and make some crafting units. Just like we made last episode, I'm actually going to make 3 of these, though. Oh, yeah, but I need nanoprocessors. I didn't make those yet. Because that's part of what we're going to be automating today. So, yeah, we'll focus on getting the... First thing I want to do is I want to get the terminals made. So, give me a second. I'm going to let this stuff craft up. It'll be a minute. And I'm going to get the 18 of those, the 18 of these... And I also have to get a processor or a circuit. I'll have to make one of those. Oh, but I've got integrated processors. That's what I needed, right? Yeah, just integrated processors. Okay, so let me grab 2 of those. And steel plates, that's easy. And then I'm going to need 4 aluminum screws. And I've got the steel plates. Okay, so yeah, all we're waiting on for the terminal itself is just those crystals. Which once we get the shards, we can combine them together to make that. There's no way to make these easier, but once we start doing this method, that's actually a little bit easier. Of course, you only have a 25% chance, so I guess craft per craft, it's lower, but it only takes the demon wheel crystals, which are easy. Plus, you're going to get the blue crystal clusters, which you should be able to mine these to get the shards. So it actually ends up being a bit more through that method. So, and I did craft up some conduits. We're going to use those a little bit later. Now, to make the crafting terminal and then the pattern terminal is easy. We've got everything for that, basically. But we need to get ourselves 6 aluminum plates. We're going to need 8 stainless steel screws and a crafter from Thermal Logistics, which takes a retriever and some stuff. I've got plenty of stainless. Let me go ahead and... I don't have anything stainless in here. Let me go ahead and pop over here, and this one. 2 should be plenty. How's this doing? Okay, we've got that. That's done. So we're going to get the next bit of that crafting up. And I've got to get water ran up to the this cutting machine. We're going to do that, you know. Okay, but I'm just going to kind of get this stuff together real quick, and I'll be back once. I mean, I don't think there's anything... we've made retrievers before. I think I've got some lying around, to be perfectly honest. And then that makes a crafter, so nothing terribly expensive here. So I'm going to get this stuff together, and I will be back once those crystals are done and all that jazz. So Oh, I just had like one of those horrible sneezing fits. But anyways, there's our red crystal shard. Our red crystal shards. I did get our 2 crafters made up. Let's go ahead and, well, let's do that. And that. And we're going to need the illuminated panels as well. 2 of those. And then let's just grab some glass fluix cable. I don't need a lot of this because this is going to be, like I said, kind of a temporary little thing we've got going. And let's go ahead. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I need. I don't suppose. Let's go ahead and do that. There's 2 of those. And then there's our 2 crafting terminals. And we got a much bigger table advancement. And then we need the pattern terminal. This one's going to be important to us. So we just need an engineering processor, and there's our pattern terminal. And we got the crafting maestro, and let's go ahead and get that plugged up. And I'm going to go ahead and do 2 fluix cable here, and let's just set that up. Now right now there's not going to be, of course, anything in this because all our system is a controller and 2 terminals, and that's it. But we're about to add some stuff to this. So the next thing I want to do is, and we're about to start, well, I guess actually first and foremost I should go ahead and look at some blank patterns. Pure Certus quartz crystals. Oh, that would be the way to go if we could make these right now. But that's going to be something that we'll move into later. Energized crystals. The pure Certus is probably the way that we're going to go. Let me grab these, and I guess I should get some more of these going because I've got, I ran some more Certus, so we've got 412 now. Let me go ahead and grab, say, 16 of this, and then I've got to go get more glowstone here soon. And let's get 16 sand. Get that turned into Certus quartz seeds. And we're going to dump this into our energetic infuser. Get this going. Or our phytogenic insulator. There we go. And then in addition, we're going to need quartz glass, iron plates, and glowstone. Yeah, I might actually have to just go get more glowstone right now. Because I'm not going to have enough for... Well, actually, I've got 38. Yeah, that should be good. And let me just grab a stack of iron. And we're going to get that going. In the bending machine. Get the stuff pressed out. And then I've got the quartz glass. That's ready to go. I made too many stainless steel screws. Okay, so what I want to do just really, really quick is I want to run over some dense smart cable. Really, I wouldn't mind having more of this, but what I want to do is we're eventually going to have 8 channels down here, 8 channels here, which are running our interfaces. And so what we're going to do is, I guess for now, we're going to bring the dense smart cable to here. And hopefully I've got enough. I mean, I'm going to have to make some more of this. There's no real way around that because I'm going to need it for making our crafting units, 1 piece per. And we'll get into P2Ps later, but that's going to be, it's going to be a little bit. We don't need P2Ps right now. I just need a basic system. So, for those of you that have been around the channel very long, you know I love P2Ps. P2Ps are like the best thing ever. I'm just going to do this. There we go. Okay, so it's sending channels down there. And then what we'll do, and I've got enough to make a couple crafting units, and yeah, we'll make some more later, but a couple crafting units and I can get by, because I don't need like super crafters with crafting co-processing units and all that stuff right this second. I can get by with some basic stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up our interfaces. And our first ones, we're going to have one that sets, let's see, power's coming in the bottom. We'll have an interface there and an interface there. We're going to use a full block interface. And these are going to be powering the machines. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring, we are going to bring cable up. And of course, dense smart cable. I'm not going to go super in-depth into the very basics of AE2. I've got tutorial series on them. I've done them 100 times. It's not complicated when dealing with channels. And channels really aren't a concern once you understand them. You can have pretty much infinite channels very, very easily. Now, eventually, this is going to be P2P ME that moves everything, and we'll have, say, this. Well, actually, that's only 7 long, but we'll still have just basically these right here will be one dense line, and then, you know, there and maybe over there will be a dense line, then there and there will be a dense line. But for right now, we're going to focus on just this little stretch here, because this should cover most of our basic needs at the moment, and then we'll expand. And then actually this ME interface, we're going to go ahead and do a flat ME interface, because we're going to do flat ones down through here. And so we'll just plug that up, plug a cable up, and that's going to move the channels down along through there. So the dense cable moves 32 channels. 8 channels comes out here. 8 channels goes up through there because the cables can only carry 8, whereas the dense cables can carry 32. Dense cables, though, cannot connect into like ME interfaces and stuff. So that's kind of the quick and dirty basics of those. So we've got this, and this plugged up now with AE2. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up some conduit lines. Now, eventually, we're going to have a fluid conduit line as well. That's going to move fluids and be filtered so that this stuff is being, I think that's how I'm going to do it, or I might use the fluid channels with the GPS markers like we've been doing. Not for sure yet. Certain things like this, we're not going to have a ton of pull on that, so probably the GPS would work fine, but we'll kind of play it by ear. Right now I'm just moving stuff manually because we're not sucking down fluids like there's no tomorrow. But what we're going to do for our extraction is set up just some conduit lines, and these are basically just going to feed back over like that. We'll go ahead and just disconnect that, and we're going to say that you can insert here on the green line, you extract always active, you extract always active, you extract always active. These conduits, basically whenever stuff gets pumped into the assembling machines and gets crafted, then the conduits are going to pull it out and feed it back into the AE system. Very, very simple. So basically we're going to have power coming in through our cables from the bottom and the top. The AE connection will be on the back side, and then the conduits will be plugged up just down through here. And that's just going to be the general way that we plug things up. And then what we'll do is everything down through here will just be connected up. I need one more conduit like that. And then once we get a painting machine, we can paint that and everything will look nice and clean. And we'll have, you know, there's 16 machines that we can plug up with AE2. Okay, so now what we need to do is, and that's got 64 iron in there. Let's go ahead and grab that, and let's see how our pure Certus is coming along. And let me actually grab this stack of quartz glass. And I didn't mean to click on that, but that's fine. Alright, we've got some pure Certus. Let's go ahead and make ourselves some blank patterns. There's 12 of those, and we've got a server restart. So I will be back once the server restarts. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, I do think we're going to start moving away from these packagers, because if you notice, it's starting to pull stuff in. Every time the server restarts, this resets. So I have to, basically anytime I run ores, I have to double check it and reset it, because it resets itself every, and if you're playing in single player, it's going to reset every time that you log off. So it's a little bit of a frustrating issue, but we can work around that now that we have AE2. Be something that we do later on. But okay, so we've got our blank patterns. Let's go ahead and we're just going to dump these into our pattern terminal. So now we can actually make patterns that go into our interfaces that tell our system what it can make. And so then what we're going to do, the next order of business, let's see. Basically, I need to make a lot of interfaces, and I need crafters, of course, but interfaces, these are conversion monitors, some polyethylene, energized polylattice isometric crystals, and skystone plates. That's a mouthful, by the way. The conversion monitors are storage monitors and this stuff. Storage monitors, ME level emitters, and we're going to need a bunch of calculation processors, which is our pure Certus. Basically, we're at the point where we're using a lot of pure Certus. So let's go ahead and grab this pure Certus. It's done now. And let me pop over. I'm going to go ahead and just make some more interfaces real quick. But before I do that, let me make... oh, I'm actually out of glowstone now. I'm going to have to go mine glowstone. Okay. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and dump in, we're going to say 12 of these. Go ahead and start breaking down 12 of these. And I can't remember if... No, I don't have any backed up in there. Okay. All right, now what we need to do at this point is, well, a couple things. First up, we need to get some sort of a storage in place. And I was doing some thinking, and I'm really kind of leaning towards drives. Because they're actually not that expensive, and I think I've got some engineering processors over here. I don't, but I can make engineering processors fairly easily. I need 2 of them. Okay. That is not a problem. Grab this, and I'm going to go ahead and get this running. But yeah, I think we're going to go with drives. Let me see. Instead of even bothering with the modular storage, though I might actually start off with a modular storage. Maybe. Well, no. We'll put that on the back burner for just a second. Okay, so what we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and make patterns as I craft things for what the next thing that we need. And what I want to work towards is a crafting unit. Now, the stellar alloy, of course, we're not going to worry about making any patterns for that. The dense smart cable, not right this second. But what I do need to do is the processor assemblies. I need to start basically automating towards these, namely the circuits. And we're probably going to start with the integrated processors because this we're going to use a lot of because we're going to be making, let's see here. Is it? Yeah, we're going to be making these circuits. Let me go ahead and pull that up because that's what we actually want is these integrated processors. And the rest of this will automate later, but right now, namely, I want the integrated processors. So the central processing unit, we're not going to worry about automating that right this second because that's actually not very tough to craft. And I actually have some wafers crafted up over there still in the blast furnace. We'll pull those out later. But we're going to go with this method right here. And I think first and foremost, I want to teach it how to make I guess we'll start with the fine red alloy wire. Now I'm not sure. That makes 4, that makes 2. And so what we're going to do, let me grab one of these, and we're going to make a quick recipe here. And we're just going to kind of make recipes as, well, I don't actually have the interfaces made for the wire mill. It's like such a struggle right now because you need so many things and everything kind of leans on each other that you need, and it's like working your way up to all that stuff. So let's see. Let's go ahead and run this glass cable out like that. And we're going to need that assembling machine for some of the stuff that we're going to be making. And then I just need all those interfaces. Maybe I should, yeah, I should focus on this first. So I've got this should be done. I'm kind of like being pulled in so many directions. I apologize. It happens. It happens at this stage, I think. And this is going to be getting pulled out. And it's probably just going, yeah, it's just going into this interface. So let's grab these out. Oh, I did have engineering processors because I'd made those. And then they got pulled out. And that's why they got, yeah, that's where they went. So right now they're just going in the interface because we don't have any storage plugged up. We'll sort that here in just a minute. Okay, so our calculation processors, we should be able to get our, I just need the redstone torches. I've got 6 of these, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get 6, and I need to get some skystone cut down. And does the skystone need to be cut through? No, it can be cut through a basic cutting saw. Okay. And let me go grab, yeah, actually this will be perfect. If we get 6 interfaces, we'll be able to get the first bit of stuff done here. There's our redstone torches. There is our ME level emitter. And then we combine that. We're going to need 6 of the illuminated panels. So there's our storage monitors. And then to get our conversion monitors, we're going to need the formation and annihilation cores. We're just going to use some of these ones that they gave us from the quest to kind of help us get started. So there's our conversion monitors. And then to get the actual interface, it's just polyethylene. We're going to need the HV assembler to do this. Conversion monitor, skystone plate, and energized polylattice isometric crystals. And for this, we're going to need the energetic infuser, which I don't guess we've made yet. It's not terribly expensive, requiring brass screws. I'm not sure how much of this stuff I've actually got in here. Not much of it. Not much of it at all. So, okay, but I don't guess there's anything terribly difficult to make here. So give me just a minute. I'm going to get this stuff together, get this thing crafted up. We are going to have to make some signalum, but that's actually not that bad because signalum, we've actually made it before. Blast furnace with a little bit of nitrogen. Signalum dust. Signalum dust is just copper redstone. And destabilized redstone through a mixer, and we can get signalum. We might actually have some of it lying around. I'm not for sure, but I need a little bit of it here. So I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, we should be good, and I pulled that skystone out so I could cut these bolts, but we're back to that. Let me go ahead now, and boom, there's our energetic infuser. So that's out of the way. This is going to need some RF power. I need to make some form. I could make energetic alloy fairly easily. I am going to have to make some... Actually, I think I've still got some conduit binder made up downstairs. Let me pop down there and grab that. Okay, no, I thought I had some, but I don't. That's fine. I've got to get all that stuff sorted, but we're going to soon enough. So there's a bit of conduit binder, and I'll just go get this... I'll get this smelting up. I need to set up a furnace over there. I will here soon, because we're going to be automating stuff through the furnaces. For right now, we'll just dump it into there. Okay, and then as far as the conduit, actually these are pretty strong enough probably, because that I can just make with a little bit of redstone. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I don't need something crazy right this second. So this will be perfectly fine, and it was 4 redstone. Yeah, per. Okay, so there is our energy conduit. And we got the basic energy advancement, and then we'll just go ahead and let's go ahead and turn this so it's facing up, and then we'll just run out our energy conduits like that, and we'll set up our energetic infuser. Well, sitting there. That's fine. Okay, so now what we can do is we can drop in. What I was wanting to make is the interfaces, and I've pretty much got all this stuff. I just need this right here. So diploid polylattice crystals. Our Certus quartz ran through with a nether star lens in the alloy smelter. I wonder if... Oh, it's a nether star lens? Really? It has to be a nether star lens. Oh, I thought it was like those other ones where I could use like glass lens or something. That means I need a block of nether stars. How many of these do I need? Okay, well, you know what? I've got these from that quest. From the Stellar Alloy quest. We're going to have to fight the Wither. Awesome. Anyways, we can get these things charged up real quick. I can at least make 4 additional interfaces, but man... I was thinking that could be done with a glass lens. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm sure we could probably take the Wither. With our healing fragments, we're pretty much immune to Wither, more or less. Because we heal faster than it does damage. And I could probably make... I don't know if there's any... If we could do, like, reinforced obsidian right now. Oh, you know what, though? We have bedrock blocks. Wither would be easy. Wither would be super easy. I could knock him out right now, actually. But there's 4 of those. Let's go ahead and grab those. We got the shocking advancement. And we're going to fight the Wither this episode. Okay. We're going to do it very, very easily. I'm assuming it'll work. I hope there's nothing, no surprises in store for me. But, okay, I wanted the interfaces. Let's go ahead and get 4 of these. And then I'll make the rest here in a minute. So conversion monitors, check. These energized polylattice isometric crystals, check. And then we need the skystone plates. And then we need polyethylene. And this is 480 EU per tick. That's fine. So what we'll do, we'll just drop... I'm just going to drop all these in here. This is also where I was making monitors. But that. And then let me grab just a bucket of... It was polyethylene, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just grab 1 bucket. We'll dump that into there. And there we go. It's going to start running and it's going to start making us some interfaces. So yay. Okay, so for the Wither. Do we want to turn our... Yeah, let's go ahead and turn our attention. Because that's not going to be enough interfaces for what I want to do. And this is something we have to get this out of the way. Actually, oh, we got to do it, I guess, 9 times. Which is fine. And I'm going to set this up like underground for the time being. And then a little bit later we are going to move this. So, but I am going to have to go farm Wither Skulls. I'm positive. Let me grab bedrock cobblestone. That's what I want. I have a lot of this somewhere. Oh, actually, I got a stack right there. Okay. That works. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's just pop down here. I didn't bring the stuff to make the Wither just yet. We will. But like I said, I am going to have to go farm Wither Skulls here in a minute. But that's fine. But what we're going to do, let's dig out a box, basically. And that it's going to be the walls and everything for this. And we're basically going to build a 3 by... We're going to build the ceiling a little bit higher because it will fly out if you're not careful. So we're going to do like a 3 by 4 interior here. And I'm going to leave the corners open. It does mean the cobblestone around here is going to get broken, but I'm actually not worried about that. But this should be sufficient, I should think. And then we need to make sure that we can access this. Probably shouldn't have built it the way I did, but well, if we build it like that, he's just going to float up there and I can just kind of stand here and whack at him. Okay, so how many Wither Skulls do I have? Only 2. Really? Is that all I have? Okay, so what I need to do, I need to go to the Nether, and at least I don't think there's any, well, actually, you know what I could do? I could do that, but I could make a Skullfire sword, maybe. Man, it's still blaze quartz. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and actually make the Skullfire sword because it's not all that expensive. We are going to need 4 mana steel, well, 4 mana steel bolts, which is just 1 piece of steel. Then we got to get the bolts made. And then I'm also going to need 2 fire quartz, and just pop down there and get that. And then I'm going to need a couple rock crystals. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our fire quartz. Like that. Or our blaze quartz. That's that. The lathe should be done with our mana steel rods. I didn't mean to stick my crescent hammer in there. But my inventory is kind of full right now. Oh my gosh. And there is our screws. Okay, so now all I need is... I may have to check on the V crystals. I may not have enough of those, but I do need the crystal sword. So let's pop up here. Okay, and I'm going to have to wait till nighttime to actually be able to do that. That's fine. I'm going to wait till nighttime, and I'm going to get these V crystals together and make sure that we've got everything that we need to get the Skullfire Sword, and then we'll start using that. Get some Wither Skulls, and then get the... oops. Let's see. I think I've got everything. Yeah, I've got the V crystals that I need, so... We'll just go ahead and place all this stuff out. So yeah, right now I'm just waiting till nighttime, and then we can get the Skullfire Sword. Okay, TPS isn't that bad, but it's still kind of... The sun keeps bouncing, but it should be... We should have enough. Yeah, we've actually got more than enough. I probably waited too long for this, but I just kind of went AFK and then came back. So now we can get our Crystal Sword. There we go. Doesn't actually take all that long to craft. Which honestly, if we did a skeleton deep mob learning battle like thing, it would actually go pretty quick doing this, but this only takes 4V. Wow. Well, yeah, I guess it just takes 5 normally. Let's go ahead and grab that. There's our Skullfire Sword. This thing is amazing because what it does is anytime you kill a skeleton, it's going to, instead of dropping skeleton skull, it's going to drop a wither skeleton skull, and it makes it like, I want to say it's like 100%. I think it's really, really high percentage chance. Like, really, really high. So what I need to do now is I need to go out and find skeletons. Speak of the devils. And there we go. Wither skeleton skull. That easy. And I'm going to have to farm, I had, what, 2? I don't think whites work, or strays, or whatever they're called. No, they don't give them, but I could go to a dungeon and farm it, or do a deep mob learning, like skeleton battle, but you can see I'm getting wither skulls, like, every time. So, honestly, if we enchanted this thing out, I mean, it's not terrible damage. It could be better, because our Sentient Sword is 13 attack damage at the moment, and it's going to get better. But we could make this thing pretty decent, and we might, you know, a bit later. But yeah, I'm going to bounce around, and I need to get... well, I'm probably just going to go ahead and get, like, say, 30 Wither Skulls. I might actually go to the dungeon that's over here, truth be told. We'll see. Depends on how many skeletons I've managed to find between now and getting there. But yeah, so I'll be back here in a little while. I've got a bit of farming to do, so I'll be back. Okay, I didn't quite get all I needed. I mean, I need at least 27. I didn't quite get that, but I got 23, and then so we've got 25, which isn't too bad. We can do 8 of them. And then do the last ones once I get the other skulls we need. So we'll just go ahead and warp on home. I'm just going to put these blizz rods away. I don't need those. Okay, so I need to... Let's see, do I have soul sand? Or am I going to have to pop into the nether and get it? If I do have to pop into the nether... I could have swore I had soul sand around here, though. And I may not have any. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm going to pop into the nether. At least now we have night vision, so the nether's not too bad. That was the worst thing about going to the nether before, was because I had to make Alcite. And now we don't have to make Alcite, so that's not too bad. And I should probably maybe look for glowstone while I'm here. If at all possible. I see some glowstone. Great. And there's quite a bit. Glowstone's easy enough to gather up a lot of. And then I see soul sand all over the place. So I'll just grab some of that and then I'll pop back through. And just vein mine it. Yeah, it should be plenty. Alright, so let's head back over here. We're going to run... I should have grabbed those other wither skulls. That's fine. Not a big deal. And let me check something. There wasn't a way to nether star plate, or I mean nether star lens. Nether star plate. Yeah, there's no way to get this without making a full block. Okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to build out a wither. And, oh wait, before I do that though, I need to build this back so I can actually be safe. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do that. And we're just going to set that up like that. And that should block the explosion. At least, you know, from hitting us. And so then, there we go, Withering Heights advancement. And we'll give the wither a second to spawn up. I'm just going to dig this back just to be on the safe side. Boom, there we go. He has exploded into life. And basically I just have to beat him to death. Which it looks like he's got some kind of reflect, so we take a little bit of damage every time we hit him. But he can't get to us, so... Nope. Yep, you need to stay right over here where I can reach you. I feel like I need more damage on my sword now. Okay, and he's starting to spawn wither skeletons, but since we only have the 2-block opening, they can't get to us either. And we'll just beat him to death. There we go. So we have defeated the wither, and we got a nether star. And I finally got withering. So there's not a way to... I need to switch that, so there's not a way to... No, I don't guess so. I don't know if there was a way to make nether stars easier or anything. Alright, now I just have to rinse and repeat 9 times. I don't think there's anything else right at the immediate moment that... that I really need. But, yeah. So, I'll be back. I'm actually going to... I'm going to do that. Just so he can't destroy our walkway. But, yeah, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, I wanted to bring you guys back in for the last wither kill. I did go up and grind some more skulls. I did change this little system up. I wish I could move this and I put a block above me. It would make it even better. But I put those little railings on there and then I was like, oh, well, I could do this. And now, yeah, it's not really like perfect, but it actually works pretty well for this. So let's step back here. We'll let him explode. I did get a couple extra wither skulls, but that's fine. I've got enough. I've still got the 2 at the base, so we could find another wither and get a 10th nether star. But basically, if I smack him a couple times and get him over here against this wall, then I can just do this till he dies. So basically, it keeps me from getting knocked back. And like I said, if I didn't have that bedrock block sitting right there, I would. I'd put a block above me so I didn't bounce so high and so it'd be a bit quicker. But this actually seems to work out fine with just a single set of healing fragments because I am taking a little bit of damage every time I hit him because of like that reflect effect. So, but those healing fragments, even if I have like wither or something, it works out all right. So. There we go. And there's our 9 nether stars. Okay, so let's pop on back home. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and dump off most of that stuff because I don't need it. And here we go. So what we're going to do is, let me grab the compressor. Really quick. This is kind of a mess back here, but one step at a time. We're going to go ahead and compress our nether stars. And then nether star lens is okay, that's only 30 EU per tick. I was wondering how much it would cost to do that, but it's actually not too bad. Let's go ahead and throw it in there and get that cutting. I'll go ahead and turn those over real quick. Looks like it's going to take a little bit, yeah, a little over a minute to craft that. That's fine. We're actually going to be ending out this episode here pretty soon because I just saw kind of the length of the footage and it's pretty long, but we'll at least be at the point where we can make lots of interfaces. And then the crafting units, we were working on those, then I got, oh yeah, I need the processor assembly. Okay, but I want to kind of automate a few things as we make the circuits initially. Not so much the processor assembly, but making the initial integrated processors. I want to go ahead and automate these steps, so we're going to be tackling that next episode. It's just I want to get my interfaces ran all the way over when I do that, which is kind of important. So another thing I need to get is a, this will just make life a whole lot easier, making an interface terminal. Oh, and we actually don't have to do the whole upgrade line, so we could knock that out pretty easily. I will need one interface though, but well, I've got those crafted though, so I could do that really quickly. So let's pop over, and I think I've got, let me grab the illuminated panel, and let me grab our interfaces. And what am I missing? Oh, polyethylene. I need a little bit more of that. Okay, let me get a little bit more of that. And then between episodes, I'll probably craft up a few interfaces because we've pretty much got, once we get those nether star lenses, I don't think it's going to consume them. But I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong on that. So, but I'm doubtful that it's going to consume them. that would be terrible if it did consume them though. That would be rough. Okay, that's done. Let's go ahead and grab those. We'll throw those in the assembling machine, get that running, and actually, yeah, I've got these in here. So we actually have everything we need. So let's take that, and okay, there we go. Interface terminal. It's not, it has to be specific, I guess, in the shape. We'll just set up our interface terminal right there. And that way I can see, okay, there's the advanced assembling machine, there's our basic assembling machines, and I can access all of our terminals through that, which is super, super handy. Okay, there's our nether star plate, and then to get our, let's see, to get this, we need the nether star lens, which is just ran through the lathe at 16 EU per tick. That's fine. Boom, there we go. And then I made that pure Certus, but I actually, yeah, I think it's Certus quartz dust. So let's go ahead and grab, I'm just going to grab 64. And I'm hoping that it doesn't consume the lens. If it does consume the lens, that's going to be expensive, but that's okay. I mean, it's really not that bad because it makes 4 per craft. Does this, what alloy smelters does it have to be made in though? It's 38 EU per tick, so you're going to need at least an MV alloy smelter. That's fine. Oh, it does consume the lens. Ugh, that's nasty. It's nasty. But then again, like I said, it's actually not that bad. I can farm those. Oh, and you do get the small piles back. So 4 of those, we can make a nether star dust, which then can be turned, I think it's blast furnace. No, it's a gravity star. Oh, the implosion compressor is how we do that. Okay. I don't know if it's really worth crafting an implosion compressor for that, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we'll make an implosion compressor later, but it's just, they're not that hard to farm. So it's really not worth the time to to do that, I don't think. But I'm going to go ahead and just make all these into... I mean, each one of these is going to make an interface, so it's actually going to go pretty far. Because, I mean, you're talking about 36 interfaces for 9 wither kills, which isn't that hard to do with the with the Skullfire Sword. And really, we could make it even easier once we get some mobs automated, which that's something that we will do in due time. But not today. Not today. But we're almost there. We're about to the point. Next episode, we actually will be automating stuff, which is exciting. But what I have to do now is I have to just make up some interfaces. It's actually not going to take that long because, I mean, I've got everything. It just has to craft. But we're going to go through and we're just going to plug in interfaces all the way down through here. And we got the Network Apprentice advancement. But we're going to plug up interfaces, and then I'm going to run actually down through here, which I'm probably going to have to make some more glass cable. That's fine. Actually, not that much just to get over there, but I will have to make up some more because I do need some for machines and stuff. But yeah, so next we got the basics down. Well, not really even the basics. I mean, we don't have anything in the system yet, and nothing's auto-craftable. But next episode, we'll actually start making some patterns. We'll get some storage. I did decide, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out this modular storage into here because I've got space in here. And then we're going to use this modular storage with the storage unit. And that's where we're going to store up... oh, wow, it actually pulls all the energy. I think I can actually set priority on this, though. No, I can't. I was thinking I could. That's fine. It's an ends to a means at the moment. So I can live with it. But I'm going to have to make some more conversion monitors and all that stuff and lots of these. And the difference between the flat and the block ones, I mean, I can't pump items into the flat ones, but I'm only pumping items into this one, and it's going to pull everything into the system from there. So that's not a problem, but they just take up less block space, basically. So you can have your cable. Of course, it's pretty much the same as if you just had the interface block. You wouldn't have to have the cables then. And that is something, I mean, you could do that. One thing I do want to do, because I'm a stickler for this, is I want to right-click the back of this, basically telling it that it feeds into this machine right here. And it's not going to be able to feed into anything else. If we do happen to plug something up close, it's never going to try to feed in there. But you could have the blocks because they will transfer channels down along them, but I'm just going to do the flat interfaces through here. That way it's just a little bit cleaner whenever we get back here to do stuff. So, but yeah, so I'm going to end out this episode here. Next episode, when we come back, we will be continuing on, and next episode we'll actually start delving into quite a bit of stuff. In fact, because we'll be in a pretty good position to where we can set up the storage, set up the automation stuff, and then get the crafting units crafted up. And once we get the crafting units crafted up, we'll pretty much have everything automated, because I'm going to automate as I go. We'll have everything automated so that we can order the circuits. So basically these, the integrated processors, we'll be able to basically just click to order those. And we'll be... I guess I'm going to go the soldering alloy method, maybe. I mean, I've got 104 antimony. I've got 2,536 tin. So, yeah, we'll probably do it through the soldering alloy method, just because I know at least right now it's kind of just like a... I mean, yeah, I'm saving on tin by a lot, but I'm using antimony, which is I don't have as much of, so it's kind of like a side grade. But I know that long term it's going to be like a straight up upgrade, so it's going to be a lot cheaper in the long run. So we'll go ahead and yeah, there's actually no use for diploid polylattice crystals except for energizing them. So might as well just energize all of them. I'm just kind of looking here. But yeah, so, oh yeah, and we have to use these for patterns. Every single pattern takes an energized polylattice isometric crystal, so we're going to have to farm a bunch of withers. I might farm some withers between episodes. We'll see. We shall see. So, but, oh man. And, we didn't need that for the general storage, units, did we? It was like a lot cheaper. Yeah, it's a whole lot cheaper. So, but yeah, so I'm going to end out this episode here, and I'll be picking up next episode. Like, I'll be recording that in, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or something. I'm probably going to finish editing this episode while I maybe farm some withers and maybe get some more interfaces crafted up. Well, I know I'll get at least a few because I want to finish running interfaces to these machines back here. But yeah, and then I'll start recording. It's probably going to be, let's see, this episode will come out on Tuesday, and then there'll probably be an episode Wednesday, an episode Thursday, and then probably an episode Saturday. So like 4 episodes. So we're kind of building momentum now because it's not at like the slogging phase. That's the worst thing about Greg Tech is you hit like this slogging phase until you hit AE2, where it's like gotta manually craft all these things, and it's just it wears you down. But and it takes forever to prep for episodes. But now we're at the point where prep's going to be a lot quicker. I mean, it's going to be expensive here for a little while we're setting up power and trying to juggle all these different things we need to do. But we need each of the other things to do it. But we're actually moving into the wonderful life of Greg Tech, I think. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.